There are programs now where you can actually create QR codes by making pictures and different things like that. So it is getting more and more creative within its time. In European and Asian countries, I mean, it's to the point now where vending machines have QR codes on them, and your credit cards are, credit card information is in your phone, and you scan the QR code and you get whatever out of the vending machine and it hits your credit card. You don't even have to carry your wallet. So, I mean, there are a lot of different things that you can do. Some of the applications right now. Yes?
Finish your thought, then I'll get back to you.
Okay. Just some of the current applications right now. If any of you have been to the movies recently, you've probably seen some QR codes flashing up on the screens for advertisements. Paperless tickets for some airlines and some sports teams. Kind of going on. Funeral industry. Very, very interesting when you think, oh my gosh, what can they do with this? And this is all part of being creative. There's actually a company in the UK called Memorial Tags. And you go on their website and you can actually download video or pictures or anything else, and they'll create a QR tag, a QR code that's made out of a certain vinyl material that you can actually place on a headstone or a memorial bench or whatever. And think about it. When a loved one passes, a lot of their memories pass on as well. But, if you go somewhere to remember them and you click on that QR code, you can look at their family tree. You can look at, pictures how you remember them. You can look at videos. I mean, it's a number of different things. A place in the UK is doing it. Okay? Nobody in the U.S. has even heard of anything like that. Yeah, is it something more? You can think about it that way, but if you think about it and really remembering your loved ones and utilizing technology to do it, the possibilities on how you can utilize this technology truly is endless. Yes?
Rob, just to help me answer the gentleman's question here, I Googled it, and the limitation of QR codes, and apparently there's a lot more you can do with QR codes than you can just with a tweet. All right? Because if it's alphanumeric, you have a maximum of 4,296 characters.
Okay.
Which is way over the 140 limit, which is great. It was numeric only, 7,089 characters.
Okay.
So there's a lot of data you can pack on those little barcodes. Yep.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm not the expert, but we have utilized a lot of these, and can't answer all the questions, but certainly can try. We've talked about coupons on Shelf Talkers, and mentioned even about Scott, who was here earlier. If you have a product, you can put QR codes on there so that people can scan that. What about if you're walking through, the mall, or what about if you're walking downtown Wilmington and the store's closed and you're interested in purchasing an item? What about if the items in the store windows have QR codes on there? You can actually scan that item and purchase that item, and the store's not even open. An additional sale. And the store's not even open. Yes?
Can you put a QR code in a paid advertisement or a paid story in a newspaper?
Yes, absolutely.
Anything you can print it with.
You do it in newspapers, magazines, whatever you want. And again, think about it. You get the newspaper, and you might be at work, you might be someplace else. You might be sitting down at a coffee shop and reading the newspaper, and you see this QR code. You might not be near your computer. Scan the QR code with your phone, and you can access it anywhere.
So are the QR codes editable, or it depends on what it's going to do? Like, for example, if it was scanning to a website, you can edit the website, but you can't edit the code?
Once the code is printed, you can't edit it. You can always update it later on.
But like if it was one for your contacts, if your phone number changed, would it change?
No, it doesn't change automatically. I would have to go in and create a new QR code.
But what you could do is set up a QR code in, say, a catalog that says scan here for the deal of the month, and on the back end, it's always taking the same web address, but you're changing
You're changing the information.
You're changing it on the
content
backside.
On the backside, that's correct.
Yep.
was a question back there? Yes.
That's an only question. I made a business card for my dad for his restaurant, and with this picture, I put a QR code, and when you scan it, it takes you to a YouTube video of him making the spaghetti.
Mhm.
You always want something interesting on the other end, or don't quit scanning.
What restaurant?
Mr. Pasta,
All right,
so anyway.
all right.
Does anybody have any ideas for their businesses that you'd like to share, that you might have an idea for QR codes? Yes.
I have a question first on it. You know, with Foursquare, it's easy to dump your email box into Foursquare to find out other users, early adopters. How do you gauge the percentage of audience? How do you find whether it's worth using a QR code in the area geographically, the marketplace you're targeting? How do you know they're going to use it before you put it out there, or do you just put it out there the first time and see the results?
Again, in the U.S., we're still experimenting a lot with it, so a lot of these questions are still unanswered. And I think it's like anything, any other technology. You know, you have two choices. You can either jump into it and play around with it and see how successful it will be, or you can wait for your competitors to do it and then follow them. So, you know, it is a lot of stuff, even though it's been around since '97, it's primarily been utilized in European and Asian countries. It is still very new to the U.S., and people are still developing creative ways on how to utilize these in the best way, and they're still measuring results on that.
They're tying it into geotagging, and then you'll be able to go online and you'll be able to track. There's already online scanners to track how much response it got. But geotagging, in real estate especially, when you'll geotag everything on the maps, and even when you take pictures now with your cameras, you'll geotag it, so then you'll be able to track everything. But they're geotagging right now.
Mm-hmm.
Into
Yeah,
the markets.
that is one way. It is somewhat utilized, but again, it's not necessarily 100% accurate with some of the. There are still some issues with QR tags, and I think that's where some people are still somewhat hesitant to use them, because not all the scanners. You know, we're an impatient, breed, if you will. And, you know, if we try this new technology and it doesn't work the first time, we get very antsy and we may not want to try it again. So, you know, there are still some issues that are being worked out with QR codes. It's not perfect. And, you know, as Ken said, with, social media in general, it's not a one-size-fits-all type thing. Not one particular thing is going to work for everybody. Yes?
I think a pretty common use that I've seen around lately are people putting it on the back of their business cards. And that way you can print it once and you can use it for whatever your current campaign is. You can go to a landing page that has more about your qualifications, or a landing page for a current campaign or promotion. So you have flexibility there, and I think that then would apply to any business, not necessarily a retailer or one who actually has a product to sell. So you can leverage it that way.
So again, we just talked about and went around a little bit to find out how QR codes can help to really market our business. And it's just really something to think about, in trying this. It's not expensive. If you're going to print something, if you're printing posters, if you're printing business cards, if you're printing other collateral material, why not include a QR code?